Mambo Vipi. I'm your host Barry Nyarol, and today we're going to dive deep into tourism and untapped potential for women. We're going to highlight opportunities and challenges on this industry. We have a special guest today, Katia. Please introduce yourself and tell us what brought you to this space.
Asante sana. So yeah, ninaitwa Katia. Ninatokea Uingereza, London to be specific. And ninaishi Arusha kwa mwaka tano. Ninapenda kusema asante kwa kunikaribisha kwa kuja hapa. And yeah, I'm really happy to be speaking on this topic because I think it's something that is quite looked over when it comes to talking about tourism, especially in Tanzania. And I'm really looking forward to kind of diving into it. But yeah, so I've been living in Tanzania for 5 years, and I've been working in tourism for the last two. And with a couple of colleagues of mine, we are working in a school where we are supporting young women between the ages of 18 to 21 so that they can go into the tourism industry. So yes, really looking forward to the questions. Fire away.
Karibu sana. As a woman, Katia, what do you think we as Tanzanians or Tanzania at large, women are facing, or there's some opportunities that are often overlooked?
Fantastic. Yeah, very good question. I think it's hard to pinpoint one exact, one reason as what's overlooked. I think there's a general gist of where areas could be more focused on. And something at the moment is just the topic in general of like women being guides. I think that's really overlooked on. Like majority of the times when you talk to people in the industry in Arusha, obviously where we are based, I would say about 99% are men. And if there is a female guide, it's like this, it's like a wow, it's a shock and a surprise. And I don't think it should be like that. I think it should be a lot, very much more normalized. And over the years, especially, I would hope to see that a lot more women are getting involved in tourism. But yeah, I would say that is the main thing. For it to become a lot more normalized, to see both women and men in tourism.
So, Katia, what do you think it's the biggest barrier in tourism for women? Is it the system or the mindset?
Okay, so in my experience and over the last couple of years of what I have found working with young women in tourism, to be honest, it's a little bit of both. Like when we talk about the mindset, a lot of women think that there is no space for them when it comes to guiding. I see so many young women who are really interested in it, but often there is this blank wall in front of them because they think, how am I actually going to achieve my dream? So that's the starter. So that is definitely the mindset. And then the system side of things, unfortunately, it is just very difficult for women to hop in this tourism. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how much experience they have. Regardless of getting that, which is very difficult as a woman, not many companies or people who are interested in teaching people, they will often take men over women. And so then, yes, of course, that is a system problem. I would probably say 70% system, 30% mindset.
Do you think there's a way you can advise the government to chip in so that more women can be given opportunities to participate in this industry?
Absolutely. I think it's hard for me to obviously have an opinion on what the government could do, but I think it's a majority. Like if there were more women who were interested in doing it, and if they were being given the opportunity to do so, it would that would naturally grow. So in a sense, it's like maybe you go back down to the basics of the education systems, and they start to promote it for women, and it doesn't come across as a male-dominated thing to study. So when it comes to marketing and trying to inspire students, I think there needs to be a major push, for women to also get involved and to show them that there is an opportunity for them. Because I think that's a lot of the reason why women, they don't go into it, because they think, okay, so I can study for 3 years tourism, but then what? No one's going to hire me anyway. But if women were to see promotional stuff, whether it's from the government or from colleges and institutions, I think that would majorly improve the numbers of education. And then, from there, like I said, naturally, more companies would take women.
So let's say from that point of view, what are you going to advise the young women who really want to come into tourism industry? They really need to understand early because, as you have said, there's so much with the system, but also with the mindset.
Yes.
Now there's also like a lot of young women that really want to come in because I've seen some of my friends. They have like tourism companies. You understand? They're really doing great. But as you've said, it's like 90% of them they're like they're just tour guide. They're just tour guides, right? But some places they're not given that opportunity to shine. It's like men. Why do you think it's more men than women? And what are you going to advise the young women coming to the industry?
Okay, very good question. So for the women out there, just do it. Like, I think, it's, of course, it's easy for me to sit here and, say do it. But I think if you know what you want, I don't think anyone should step in your way and, like, whatever the situation is now, like, it has to be you are the ones that change it, like, not anyone else. Like, the men aren't going to change anything. Like, it has to be the women stepping up at the end of the day, and women have to be confident to go in for it. So if you know what you want, I think it's really, really important that you just go for it, because you just will absolutely never know. And I think at the end of the day, if you really want it, you will get it. Like, so real women up.
we have like some very powerful and big companies in Arusha.
Yes, yeah.
And we also have like colleges, that like now I've seen like they're teaching Chinese, they're teaching different languages, right? How do you think big companies and the colleges in Arusha, they can connect but give more opportunities to women?
Absolutely. So I think, like, touching on a bit like what we have spoken about, I think also something that would be really good is for people to understand what are the actual requirements. And to shape the industry a little bit different. Because I think when you think of a tour guide, you think of someone that is working, it's really heavy duty work, and it's tough, like, physically. While there is an aspect of that in tourism, I would actually say the majority of it is how you handle yourself, the knowledge that you have about the wildlife. As you mentioned, the languages, I really like that. Like, languages are really, really important, and it makes you extremely hireable for companies. Honestly, if you had a woman who is a guide and could speak 2 languages, you are already significantly more hireable than a man who speaks 1.
That's very true.
So it's a major focus that I think, like, women, like, now, like, focus on that. And I think a lot of the times people are scared of the driving aspects, but the driving only comes with experience. Like, you can't expect to know the roads. You can't expect to know everything without actually having done it. So I think the colleges really need to focus and explain to, not only women, like all the students, that focus on what they can focus on. Focus on the languages, the knowledge of the wildlife, like learn the maps, learn the roads, and the driving and the skills and experience everything comes later. So to really focus on, like, what you can improve on, and learn as much as possible, basically.
Oh, that was really real deep.
People know that because I think, like then, I'm not saying, like, put a rule in place where you have to hire women, but I think it's just as much the government's responsibility that women are aware that they can do that, because it's like, I understand that women can do it physically, but it's like there's a reason why they aren't. Like, they're not being, like, there is no one's telling them, like, there's no promotion at, like, schools, and, like, very early on they're having to, like, split off and do women jobs and men jobs. So it's like that's
So do you think for us to add more value on this industry, do you think the government has to create, like, special laws that most of these big companies, they at least have to hire 40% of women in the industry? Like, it has to be like
I don't think
number one.
A rule, maybe not, purely because I think if a man as a guide is way better than a woman as a guide, I still think man should be chosen. A woman shouldn't be chosen just because she's a woman. But if the man and the woman are the same good, then we're in the same realm. Like I don't think there should be a rule, but I just think it's tricky. It's really really tricky to comment on. I just think there just needs to be like more information about it, like so that women know that they can do it. Maybe I don't know if you have another opinion.
Yeah. So what you're trying to say is like women has to understand that this is not a weak position. It's not like for the weak. If you want to be a tour guide, if you want to work in this industry, you have to be very strong,
Yeah,
stronger
yeah.
than the men,
Yeah,
because it's like a
100%.
competitive game,
Yeah,
right?
100%. I think like as I was saying, like it is really really important that uh, that you work hard. Like it's not an easy road, but it's not an easy road for a man, for the men anyway. So like you will have to go through that same procedure. But I think it's more so knowing that you can do it. Like the option is there, and like colleges are accepting women. So it's just about going for it. Like yeah, not being scared is a major thing.
Uh, wow.
Wow.
Okay, another question, you guys.
Yeah, so my other question would be like, you have been in Tanzania and for almost 4 years and working in tourism for 2 years. So speaking of women's and opportunities, what have you seen that is it's a empty left angle opportunity for women that they can take advantage of so far?
Absolutely. So for women, I was mentioning a bit about it earlier, but I think naturally, like when it comes to studies, like women are quite interested in like learning as much as possible, and I think from an educational standpoint, like gathering as much knowledge is going to be so much more powerful. Like when you're going to be getting hired, so like I really think women should be focusing on languages. Um, Also, like confidence is honestly key. Like companies are really just looking for people who are like open and comfortable and just like yeah, just really going for it, like not holding back and not being shy. But as for like a missed opportunity, I don't think there really is. I think it's just yeah, just as I mentioned, just like women need to step up and actually get where they want to be in general.
So as if we see the numbers, um, US is like the leading market in the tourism industry, and they pay so good. And then there's also like this emerging market, which is Chinese, which is like 15% of the tourists coming to Tanzania. What can you advise young women who want to come into this industry? Like, should they concentrate? Like, if we say give us three languages they need to learn apart from English. Um,
Which ones would they be and why? So I think I understand that like those are the two most important ones. Like your English, like make it fantastic. Like do as much as you can to perfect the English to the next level, because you're gonna have, like you say, you're gonna have a lot of Americans, and majority of the tourists are gonna be able to speak English. So I think English is your golden language. And if you don't have another language, I think, but hold on to knowing that you know the most important one. And I think once you want to stand out from the rest of the crowd, probably the next three, and I wouldn't say in priority order, I would say they're all on the same page. A major, like the three main, in my experience, the three main markets, like as for additional languages, is German. That is an incredible language to speak as an additional one. The next one, I would say, to be honest, French.
okay.
A lot of French people, their English isn't so good. So if you can speak French, fantastic. Like really, really going to set you aside. And then probably, as you mentioned, Chinese is the golden ticket. You're going to be tapping into a market that not many, I'm talking people, like not many people, not men or women, not many people can speak and have even mastered it. And maybe mastered it is the wrong word. Like it's, it's just making an effort and being able to communicate the basics. You don't have to be fluent. You don't have to be able to read and write. Honestly, I think that's a misconception. People think that when you perfect a language, that you can read it, you can write it, and you can write an essay on it, but that's not true. You have to be able to understand someone, and you have to be able to communicate what you want to get across. So if we focus on Chinese, for example, the most important things when you're on safari is to get these safari phrases across in Chinese. You don't have to start talking about, your past history and what you're doing at home. Like, really focus on the wildlife, and that narrows the language down. So you don't have to feel like you know everything 100%. But that languages is really going to set you aside.
Oh, that's nice. So, from your experience, have you faced this? From your real experience, have you faced this kind of problem when you have you're in the field, and you cannot speak the kind of language that your customers are speaking?
Major problem. Yeah. If you communication is the most important part when it comes to tourism, and the clients want to feel like they are understood, and that's it. Like, honestly, that's it. And you want to be able to have this connection, like, as much as you want to explain everything about the wildlife, but connection and communication is the most important part. And it's what the interviewer, the company owners who are interviewing you, they will feel that, and they will see that you have an eye for wildlife, but you have an eye for communication and understanding. So it is a problem. Like, I think, loads of practice and with talking to people, and of course, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. But it's a very, very good point.
All right. So speaking of, all right, I'd also like to know, why do you think most foreign companies, they're really doing great in Tanzania, rather than Tanzanian companies, like local companies?
Okay, it's a tricky topic, and I think what I say has to really be felt from my perspective, and it might not be what's actually going on, but it's just what my opinion is of it.
From your opinions, from your point of view, why do you think foreign companies are really doing great than local companies?
Okay, I think it's a good question. So, to be honest, in my opinion, what I think, a lot of people have a perspective. Okay, they're going to think, okay, the foreign company is going to be doing better because foreign investment. And I think that's completely not true. I really don't think that foreign investment pumps you up for success. I think it's about how much you know of the industry, and that should not differ between a local company and a foreign one. I think it also a major big point is operations, how you run your company, and how important the individual client experience is, as opposed to being the biggest and the best. So a lot of companies, smaller, maybe not even local ones, a lot of smaller companies, they're going to get all of a sudden loads of trips, and that's what's most important to them. But when a company is just starting out, whether it's foreign or local, what needs to be focused on is the individual client experience and the satisfaction rate. So to make sure that they're having a good time, make sure that the vehicles are good, make sure that the guides are knowledgeable. And I think at the moment, I think you are right in saying that majority of the companies are, the majority of the top, maybe 5-6 companies are foreign. But there are definitely a couple of local companies that are improving massively and really stepping up their game, and I think that just comes down to time, and also expanding your network. I think a lot of the time, local companies, it's one person with a dream, and they'll open up their company, but they won't actually put all the time and the effort into it. And as opposed to potentially a foreign company, they might already be going into this with a lot of experience from other tourism areas. So I would, in my opinion, I would say those are the main differences at the moment. But it doesn't limit the possibilities for local companies to do the same thing. So it's a lot of learning and seeing what everyone else is doing and trying to integrate that into your company, in my opinion. It's easy for us to look at the companies and be like, oh, they're hiring a woman over a man. But actually, if I was a company and I had a man and a woman here, and I have a man here who can speak 2 languages, and I have a woman here who can only speak one, I will choose the man. Like, and that's coming from like me, but it's like I think
You
I
choose
think
the man.
yeah, because like women have to be on the same level, and like women have to work just as hard as the men. And I think that's also like something that women need to understand. So I think it's not on the companies, because I think the like companies are evolving, and like they are up to date and modern. I mean, maybe there has to be a push of like companies also have to think. But I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I think if women are on the same level as men, that they will be hired.
Okay, so I think UK, you have the big number of female in the tourism industry, right?
In UK.
Yeah.
Yes, having said, I think it's not just a problem in Tanzania. I think it's a worldwide problem. Like it's a problem in many countries. Like of course other countries that are like maybe a little bit more forward on that kind of side, but I think it's not just Tanzania. Like women in tourism, especially when it comes to guiding, there's a real indifference and imbalance between it.
But I think there is a country that it has a big number compared to other countries.
I'm sure. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but I am sure that there are other countries that have probably more 50%. Yeah.
All right. As we're wrapping up, I think one thing is clear, that tourism it's not just an industry of places. It's an industry of people, and the role of women in shaping the future is not optional; it's essential. Katya, thank you so much for sharing your insight with us. Karibu sana, and
Asante for having me. It's been it's been fantastic to talk about this topic, and it's one that I think should be spoken about more. So thank you for having me.
asante sana. Till next time, Jitambueforums, Barry and Katya.
On the mic.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.